Let's get rolling, motherfucker. Shit. Here we go. You want action or drama or big booty mamas? How about a movie with a stupid fucking llama? How about Bravo? They cover movies and shit for you. 6 degrees of film degrees, what you gonna do about it? 6 degrees of film degrees, what you gonna do? Wait, Quiet's been taking his pants off. It's not that kind of party, buddy.
But all right, first podcast. We don't know what the hell we're doing yet, but we decided on a name, 6 Degrees of Film Degrees. My name's Ben. I'm sitting with Tessa and Eric, and we're going to be talking about...
Hello.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, she's whispering. Because the microphone is so hot. Oh, my God. Here's some porn music. Come on, baby. Rub my belly. Ooh, you like it?
Every once in a while, I stumble upon one of those oldies pornos on Pornhub. And I'm like, God, this is bad.
God, lady, trim your bush.
It's a lot of bush. It's a lot. Does
Anyway.
this even count as nudity?
For our first episode, we actually decided on Lethal Weapon 4. Why did we decide this? I don't remember.
Lethal Weapon 4, I think it holds a lot to all of us emotionally,
Not me.
spiritually. Not Tessa.
She saw it for the first time just a week ago.
I watched it because you told me to watch it. Let's be real.
You gotta watch this.
I'm a fan.
The first time I seen it was when it came out. I saw it with my dad. I was 7 years old.
In the theaters?
In the theaters. And ever since then, it was like the spark of these dumb action films, fire in the opening sequence. I'm just like, oh, shit.
That's very true.
I'm about this. And then obviously, Jet Li, you're just like, holy shit, this guy.
Yeah, first time you've seen Jet Li, and it's like, what?
You're just like, so taken back.
Who is he?
Did he just
Right.
kick him in the face? I think he just kicked her in the face. He's kicking everybody in the face. But yeah, the first time I saw it was actually pay-per-view. My brother and I used to rent movies when they'd come out, and he's pointing. Oh, you can hear. We're watching the movie as it's going on, and the end credits just happened, and Why Can't We Be Friends is playing really loud. But yeah, we used to VHS. I'm old balls. We would record our pay-per-view, and then we'd have that movie because I remember the top 2 movies that we'd watch all the time was Lethal Weapon 4 after we recorded it, and then Keeping the Faith, which I want to cover at some point. We got to get to it. Oh, that's one thing I should probably explain is how we're doing this. Like the next episode, we're following the actors. Like we have to choose an actor that's in the next movie that's in this movie. Like so,
Or either producer, director.
Yes.
We're trying to keep it to, an involvement of the movie. Obviously, there's actors out there, like Jet Li, fuck him, whatever.
I'd fuck him.
But the producer that no one talks about.
Right.
So stuff like that.
And that's why I have some of those writers in my notes.
We see you.
And understand.
You see me?
Yeah. We see the producers. We see the behind the scenes. We know you're there.
I've read the Wikipedia.
So did Ben.
Wikipedia has everything, bro. Everything.
Oh man. All right.
It's from the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think everybody's familiar with what that is?
Oh, I guarantee. Anybody who's listened to a movie podcast with 3 dickheads pontificating, I'm sure they know
I'm
what
like,
it
come
is.
on.
Right, absolutely.
Come on.
And
if you don't, Google it.
Right?
Right.
Google it, bro.
Just Google it.
Giggle it.
All right. So Lethal Weapon 4 that we're covering today.
Mm-hmm.
And Lethal Weapon 4 is a buddy cop movie from 1998 starring Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, Rene Russo, Joe Pesci, Jet Li, and Chris Rock.
I think Rene Russo deserves it, too.
Oh,
she does.
She's a fox.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's so hot pregnant.
Oh, I found out Tessa's fetish.
Not really.
Same.
I mean, I don't think that about a lot of pregnant women look miserable.
My wife, when she was pregnant, that she looked... I was all about it. And she was just like, no.
Baby, butter my bread.
Yeah, because
I love it with your pregnant belly. Oh.
this is why we're not having
Even
children.
when my wife did the walk fart, with a half month left of being pregnant, she's like, I can't hold it in. Still about it.
She's going to be so mad you brought that up on the podcast.
I told her, disclaimer.
It's all right, I've been
I had her
tearing that up
I had her
later.
sign a thing later.
It's all right.
This
The only
morning.
listeners are going to be her and my mother anyway.
Yeah.
I don't even think...
And maybe her family, so I
Some
can't,
of my
I can't
friends.
talk about it too much.
I told a few friends.
Yeah, I'm sure we
I
can
only
get
have
everyone
a few
from
friends, but
you know,
I told them.
our mutual job. Stuff
Right.
Like that.
Yeah, it's a kitchen.
Yeah. And all of our sponsors. Anyway, so Lethal Weapon 4 had a budget of 140 million, making 285 million worldwide.
Shit.
Well, and that's in my nuts.
Oh, you do have it down.
Yeah,
It's in your nuts.
That's in my nuts.
Right.
In my nuts. So this was as much needed safe bet for Warner Brothers as their movies were not doing well in the box office, needed a sure thing to save them from bankruptcy.
Okay.
And that's one thing that I think is just wild, because 285 million in today's standard, that's considered a flop. Like, I was reading about Terminator Genesis, and it cost roughly around the same amount, maybe like 180 million, and it only made close to 300 mil worldwide, and the studio considered it a flop. But that, like, in 1998 they were having so many problems, Warner Brothers was, with flop after flop after flop after flop. So they said, we need a sure thing. Let's get somebody going on Lethal Weapon 4, because they just needed something to save them from bankruptcy.
Right. Yeah, no.
So that
Batman Beyond can only carry himself.
right? Oh my god!
Especially back then, it was Looney Tunes, Batman Beyond, and like Super Friends.
Yes.
But then, like, you see this evolution of studios where they're only making the safe bet, like the Marvel movies, for example.
Absolutely.
It's a shoe-in.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's hot, and it won't not be hot ever.
People will eat it up forever. They're going to show it to their kids.
Well, it's a genius, merchandising, because, I even myself with my daughter, I'm just like, man, I just want to show you all these things. And then, as she gets older, she gets into it and she buys into the bullshit.
Dad, get out of my room!
I'm watching Deadpool. So Riggs and Murtaugh confront a man wearing a flame-retardant armor, wielding a firearm and a flamethrower. The unidentified man is destroying cars and shops along a city street, and Riggs and Murtaugh must stop him. We fade to almost 9 months later, where Riggs, Murtaugh, Leo are night fishing. A large ship comes crashing into their boat, ends up shipwrecked on the shore. Chinese slaves are found in the cargo hold. The vessel, Murtaugh finds a family hiding in a dinghy.
Dinghy.
In a dinghy.
Did I write that weird?
It's all right.
Dinghy.
And hides them in his own home. Information leads them to Uncle Benny in Chinatown, where Wasing Koo, played by Jet Li, is standing in the corner, Riggs antagonizing him, and end up getting thrown out of Uncle Benny's restaurant. They see a man that was on the cargo ship and begin chasing. And I want to talk about that man that they saw. Because that man is James Liu.
Okay.
And you know what other movie he was in? Big Trouble in Little China.
Was he really?
And it was what I wanted to do. That was our in for our next movie, but we missed it.
Oh
Now
man.
we have to try to circle back around.
We can figure.
we'll
There's so
bring it
many
back.
people in that too.
But
Yeah,
James Liu and all those Asian American actors from back then, like if you watch, from like Double Dragon to Lethal Weapon 4 in that like 80s to late 90s era, it's all the same dudes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that's a good point.
Like there's I cannot forget the gentleman's name, but he's in Starsky and Hutch. He plays the Korean sniper dude. And he's in this movie just as a background character. He's also a background character in Big Trouble in Little China. Any other, where it's like, we need an Asian, he's there.
We need an Asian
and same
man.
with James Liu. But James Liu himself he basically did all the stuff that like Jet Li and all those guys end up doing now, just background stuff.
I did not know that.
Martial arts, they teach
Stunt coordination.
stunt coordination. Yes.
Okay.
They do their own stunts.
But yeah, they did and that's the thing though, is like people nowadays, I feel like the stunt people are vaginas. And then so like these people have to teach them like, all right, back in my day, we got Jackie Chan breaking his leg and they're putting a cover over his leg, and
Get back out there.
that one, yeah, he's like, I got this. I'll jump across that building and I'll be fine.
Speaking of Jackie Chan, he was first picked for the role of Wasing Koo.
Really?
Yeah, he was,
I don't
but
think-
he didn't want to do it because he said he
one
would
of my
never play
fun
the villain
facts.
anymore. What's
You
that?
Dick.
Sorry, I'm stealing your thunder.
He didn't
yeah.
want to play the villain.
That makes sense though.
He was
And this is Jet Li's last time where he ever played the villain. Well, except for movies where he played himself, where he was the villain
Right.
going against him. Anyway,
It's a fantastic movie.
Another
The one never died.
That's another one.
God, the soundtrack. I'm like, oh my God, they're playing
every-
Disturbed.
Oh my God,
Dude, if you
you
threw-
hated it. I loved it.
If you, I like the one, but no, if you threw any fight scene with Down with the Sickness, or it's like,
Yeah.
all right, zombies killing each other.
It's badass.
I'm not about it. I got to be the pessimist here. Oh my God, when that
so
happened, I just
upset.
rolled my eyes and started laughing. I'm like, fuck.
I'm like, oh my God, Ben, shut up. This is so great.
Anyway, the beginning of the movie when it starts out with the intro with the fire into Lethal Weapon 4. When me as a kid, when I seen it, I was like, whoa. I'm into this. Why is the fire relevant? I don't know.
Flamethrower.
But even so, I've watched the movie
Intensifies your movie going experience.
Yeah, it
a
does.
few times over the last couple months when we decided to do this, and it was just I was like yesterday old or 2 days ago old when I realized that the why the fire was relevant because the random dude that decided he wanted to burn downtown LA.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that's why it's relevant. I was like, wait.
And I've got some notes about that, but I'm gonna check with you, Tessa.
No,
see if
no,
I'm
you're
not-
good there. You're good.
Okay. I feel that is a throwback, kind of like a making fun of a bank robbery gone bad in 1997. I remember seeing it on the news, and I looked it up for this podcast, and I remembered it completely different because I was a child. But I remembered this guy looking like Iron Man walking down the street and trying to shoot cops and this and that. Well, he ended up taking his own life on live TV. It was fucking gnarly. But
wow.
it was...
The 90s.
Yeah, 1997. But yeah,
I don't
it was
remember anything. Times
head
were
to toe,
simpler then.
head to toe armor. But how they got him? Well, a cop shot him in the neck as he was pulling the trigger in his chin, blowing his brains out.
I take credit.
But it's got to be something with that because this movie came out in 1998, and
So I guess it would appeal to people. Then they'd be like, oh, right, this.
This
Riggs and
happens.
Murtaugh are the ones that took care of that
Oh,
guy,
obviously.
right? Mel Gibson, he's fucking everywhere. He hates the Jews, but he'll save the day.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
No pun intended. But speaking of Mel Gibson, though, especially from like the start of the movie to the end of the movie, I guess maybe me just being an adult, like Mel Gibson is the most awkward troll I've ever seen on the planet.
What do you mean?
Like he's just sitting there trolling the whole
He
movie.
is.
Oh yeah.
And he's got this like serious face, so like I might take your pants off, but
Enter the
know.
drag queen.
right. And he's just so awkward at it, but at the same time, like, does it well. Like, his voice doesn't match his body language, which makes it like,
Yeah.
like when she hands him the donuts, he's like, "Oh, please, food." It's just like,
What?
where you
What?
what?
How do you
That's-
speak to
someone
one
else is
another? It's
talking for
odd.
you.
Right.
Yeah, it's very odd.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys what your opinion was of change in the mullet. Because it was
From the mullet to
yeah,
the
it was
clean
a
cut?
strategic move for this last movie.
Was it strategic? Because I noticed it's the first Lethal Weapon movie where he didn't have that glorious mullet,
Right.
even though it looks like
and
shit.
it, and it, yeah, I mean, to each their
Mullets.
own.
They're coming
To
back.
each-
Oh my
it's
god!
a thing.
I know fashion, whatever.
Let people live.
I look like a penis, so I get it.
He doesn't.
Same.
I look like Kevin Bacon from Tremors right
He
now.
does.
So.
But yeah, they like intentionally, kind of almost with the vibe of them, saying how they're too old to do this anymore, and then them,
I'm too old for this shit.
but then they come back and they're like, no, I'm not too old. I'm not too old. So it's kind of like, he's growing up
Right.
a little bit.
And
Oh, yeah.
in Lethal Weapon 4, it's the only one where Murtaugh didn't say it. Riggs said it.
Right.
That's true.
So yeah, and I didn't know if you guys had, any theories about before it's talking about this, about
Well,
the mullet, the lack of the mullet.
It definitely maybe that was part of like even from the get go of him telling him to take his fucking clothes off and dance like a chicken to distract him.
Yeah.
And which it might have seemed like a troll joke, but honestly, like would he have not gotten that reaction if he just went out normal? He would just.
Yeah.
But instead, he's just like, "What are we doing here?"
What the fuck is this guy doing?
I think it's just Danny Glover just wants everyone to know that he's still fit at 51.
Right?
Right. But anyway,
Look at those glutes, bro.
Maybe
God.
that's why I have issues with connecting with his trollness in this fourth one, just because he doesn't have the mullet anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe he was hard carried by the mullet and his character. Because remember in the first one, obviously, I don't think you've seen it.
No.
It's been years since I've seen it.
Same. And the only thing I remember from the first one is just those crazy eyes he would do. You know, those awkward, like, crazy eyes. But then the mullet would back it up. And it's like,
Oh, yeah, because it's flopping about.
Right. And he doesn't have it anymore.
Peeking over the shoulder. What's going on over here, bro?
Right.
Yeah, Mel Gibson has a different vibe, I think, in Lethal Weapon 4. Without the mullet.
True.
It was a strategic move.
Absolutely. The whole time I was thinking of this intro scene, it's just like, it just cuts ends, and it's just like, well, why was this guy doing that? I mean, and then maybe that is what it is. It was a tribute to that. That makes sense to me. It didn't make sense till now. Because all of a sudden the scene just ends, and then there's like, oh, we're just fishing. It's 9 months later.
Yeah. Almost.
NBD.
Yeah, right.
Almost 9 months later.
Well, and I don't know about you guys. If I was in a situation where I was getting shot at, flamethrowered by this, non-military funded robot, and I was just like, oh, your girlfriend's pregnant. What?
Yeah, the timing is like,
Right.
I'm just going to throw this out there in case I die in a few seconds.
Right. And he's like, oh, you're going to be a grandfather. It's like, okay, well, what do we do? I don't know. I just wouldn't think of shit like that. Maybe that might be like the cop experience versus my absolutely zero experience.
And they,
Yeah.
I think they went about it the right way because it's like, I'm going to go out there. No, you can't because you're going to be a father.
Right.
It's like, well, what? Well, you can't because you're going to be a grandfather. I'm hitting my microphone. Sorry, everybody.
Ben talks with his hands.
I do. I'm very
And his-
animated.
his legs
Wacky
and
waving
arms
inflatable arm flailing tube man.
I just know if I got told that, or like that, first off, it's no offense to anybody in my life. I feel like my adrenaline would be going so, because I feel like as a cop, you don't experience something like that every day.
No. No.
Obviously, in their world,
I like
they
to
do,
believe
but
that even in the fucked up world that we currently live in, that you're not coming across a flame-throwing robot.
I mean, maybe in Russia.
I mean,
but-
yeah.
The first draft was them fighting neo-Nazis.
Love it.
Like,
Really?
Yeah, I have notes on this. But Jeffrey Bones started working on his own new story of Lethal Weapon 4, which would have Riggs and Murtaugh fighting against neo-Nazi survivalists who were committing terrorist acts in L.A. And Warner Brothers just said, get rid of it. You're not doing it. And this guy, his resume is actually really impressive. He did The Dead Zone. He did Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Inner Space, Lost Boys, Witches of Eastwick, and kicked off the project. Mm-hmm. But that's one thing that drives me crazy about Hollywood. You could have a great, like the writer of Die Hard got kicked off the project, and then they just brought in somebody else who could write faster. That was it.
I mean,
Such a dick
you
move.
can't. Yeah.
But it happens all the fucking time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, people need to make money.
I
And that's
get
all
it.
it is.
I get it, but
they,
still.
they made the money move, and unfortunately, business people like that, especially with my experience, they will always choose the money over the
Oh, yeah.
skill, which is very unfortunate.
Time is money. Do it faster.
And also, did you guys know that Mel Gibson announced that he is going to be starring and directing in Lethal Weapon 5?
Oh,
Really?
No shit.
Yeah, I just watched an interview with him last night.
Okay. Do we have a timeline?
Oh, God. 6 months, like they had to film this one. God.
For real.
I know, 30 days is
I
impressive.
thought that this is a great
So
movie.
impressive, I think.
For how quick
For
they
how quick
slapped
it was
it together.
done. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
But-
impressive.
But yeah, Lethal Weapon 5. We're going to get it.
All
You're gonna-
right.
You're going to get your flaming intro again.
Yes.
God, I hope so.
I hope it's just like
Fire.
nuclear explosion.
I just want Ben Stiller holding a baby and a gun on a cliff top.
Anyway, so yeah, no, it cuts to the boat scene, and then so I obviously me and Ben saw this movie. This was the first Lethal Weapon him and I both had seen. Obviously,
Same.
you as well. But seeing it as a kid, you don't really understand like Joe Pesci's like role in the whole like franchise. It's just like, why is this guy here? Mm-hmm. And then the movie is, I thought for how quick it was slapped together, they're pretty good about. If you're a first-time watcher, it kind of like is vague enough to include you in the story.
Long-time listener, first-time caller. Sorry, I always wanted to say that. Anyway.
But no, yeah, exactly. So they wanted to include, they do a good job of including you in the story, But in the same breath, it's like there's so much shit to this movie, and then you're just like, why is it relevant? Like, you know, after the boat scene and all that, you know, it cuts to Riggs's woman, and it's like, why is she relevant? Like, what's her story? She's pregnant.
Yep.
Police food.
Police food. Are you saying Rene Russo is police food? I guess.
Right, exactly.
She is pregnant.
At some point, she was.
But no, yeah.
You like chicken chow mein.
Did you guys know that the name of the boat, of Murtaugh's boat, is Code 7?
Code 7, yeah.
Do you know what that means?
No.
It's the LAPD code for lunch break.
Are you fucking
That's
kidding
amazing.
me?
Yeah.
That
That was one of the things that I read at like 4 a.m. this morning. I'm like, oh, jot that down. That's hilarious.
oh, shit.
Like,
But
so
no,
clever.
But no, that scene's like, obviously, they're doing their thing, and then Joe Pesci just being ridiculous. And I, as I've watched this movie way too many times over the last couple of months, every time Joe Pesci talks in this movie, I'm just like, I wish I could be that forward with people. He's just like, whatever.
Oh my God.
You know why he
Whatever,
talks
whatever.
like that? He based that character off of kids that work at Disneyland.
Love it.
Because he'd ask
Really?
for directions. They're like, okay. So, you want to, okay, hold on. Okay. You want to go down, take a left, and then, wait, okay.
Whatever.
Right? Whatever.
Well, no,
Talk to the
it
hand.
was like the scene where he was looking for something in the cabin of the boat, and then he's just like, he tells him like all these nautical terms, then he's just like, it's in the back right corner, and he's like, what? Why the fuck did you just say that? That's so loud. Like he
His
said on the
rant.
movie, you step on the boat, and all of a sudden everything becomes nautical for no reason.
Yes.
And that
Pump your
does, and that
fucking
does, that does happen. But and then they got their toy shark. On
Oh my
the
God,
boat
I
as
love
well.
the shark. I love the shark. And the shark in the water once the boat sinks.
Well, I thought I remember
I love that
thinking when
too.
I first saw the movie that when that shark went into the water, all like clearly someone has a stick just nudging this plastic thing into the water. But
The boat, it was natural. That really
no,
happened.
because it starts to like
yeah,
wiggle
no,
about
boat sinks. And he's like,
anyway.
I'm free.
I remember thinking in that movie, or when I first saw the movie as a kid, I was like, man, they're gonna get fucking killed by this shark.
You forgot about
Like,
that,
I
didn't
wanted
you?
this like big like Jaws scene to happen, but it never happened. But anyway, when they were bantering back and forth about their bullshit, and then all of a sudden, like they just get snuck up on by this freighter, I
know.
thought was a little silly. It's just like.
Well, it's
I'm like,
it's an
you're
80s
telling
action
me.
movie made in 1998.
It's like,
You
whoa!
didn't
There's this
see
giant
that?
metal right in front of
Like, motherfucker, you did not see that or hear that
Right.
at all? Not even a little bit?
And I think Joe Pesci was looking that way.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
but it's
like
Joe
a
Pesci.
giant floating metal,
What is that?
Asian metal coming at you.
You know, one thing that I've noticed in this movie, because God, we've watched it like 4 times, I think now. All the stunt work that's clearly not Mel Gibson.
Oh, I
No.
know. It's like this more limber dude.
Yeah, they're like the stunt man for Mel Gibson has the mullet. He's like, I thought you were gonna rock the mullet. Fuck it, let's just do it.
We talked about this.
Fantastic. And just pure '90s like action film. It's like they get shot at, and then all of a sudden he just pops off like 3 shots, and all of a sudden there's just happens to be barrels of oil there.
Oh, I know.
Yep.
All right, we got fire again.
there's the fire.
There it is.
Explosion.
And then it never escalated from there. It was just like the boat's on fire. Now we're fighting.
Well, and then Joe Pesci's childish wonder in that, like when the barrel's coming up and it's about to smash into the boat, he's like, oh, look at that. It's about to kill you, man.
But I mean, Danny Glover, like, as someone who hasn't really seen a whole lot of his films, and then only knowing him from Lethal Weapon, I'm completely content with just knowing him as Murtaugh and being done with it. Good for him.
I
Good for
can
him.
see
You know,
that.
he's
I mean,
probably
he's-
rich off those anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And especially for a film series that easily, like, so if they came, obviously, I was informed the other day that they did come out with the Lethal Weapon show by someone.
Mm-hmm. That was
And I
me.
had no idea that it flopped and was just never heard of again.
Oh, wow.
But I was thinking, like, the whole premise of all 4 movies, like, it was ahead of its time in the sense of if a person from Netflix heard this idea for a show with these 2 actors, say they're the same age nowadays, and wanted to do this, they would have made millions off of Netflix or even HBO Max or
Yeah,
something.
making a series instead of a movie.
Instead of the series. Like, the little screen just does it. It gives you what you need now.
Well, and it's bigger than it used to be. Like, I remember television shows, that's where good actors would go to die. Basically.
Absolutely.
And
I agree.
then now you have major stars doing TV shows.
Oh yeah, people eat that shit up.
Yeah, it was the death sentence of people's career. But then it's like jokes on people like the chick who plays Meredith Grey in Grey's Anatomy. She's like, I've been doing this show for 20 years, and it's, coming back around. I make millions.
Oh yeah.
A lot of actors are excited to get these series, especially if they run in like
Right.
Grey's Anatomy, which is
Right.
very rare. But they have
There are
ongoing income.
very few 2 TV shows that do well. Obviously, like Hulu just streams it all themselves now. But yeah, Lethal Weapon easily could have been part of that if it would have just originally come out now. Finish the
Blanket.
The blanket.
What did Chris Rock yells? Blanket.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about Chris Rock coming in yet.
Blanket.
So
Yeah,
all
let's
right,
go
so
into Chris
yeah,
Rock,
no,
'cause I've got one
we're
of his-
just getting into the fight scene. So the fight scene with Riggs and the entire ship of people, and then he magically can see the laser pointer redirecting at some dude's back, which
As a kid, I was like,
that is so cool. I'm gonna go home and try it on a rock.
right?
It was just a piece of metal. It wasn't a mirror.
Right.
Anyway, so then we meet James Liu, or I'm sorry, what was his name? James Liu.
Lou James.
Lou James. Lou James. James Liu, our Big Trouble in Little China representative. And, and then he jumps ship, and then we jump into, what was it? Then Riggs finds all of the slaves, all that, and we go from there to INS showing up, and then it's just awkward, and then we get Chris Rock.
Pretty much.
I love Chris Rock.
Pretty much.
He's just doing a stand-up routine the whole movie, but I love it.
It's
Do you
great.
like how the God, I feel like that the dude who played the INS agent is just so cliched his role, like that he's like a low budget actor. He's just like, we need like a
Talking about a big guy with the mustache?
Yeah.
That's Bill Murray's brother.
It is.
really?
Swear to God. Yeah, that's Bill Murray's brother. I
had
forget his
no
name.
idea.
I know
Yeah,
that's
he
such
plays
a. I
the
feel
same
like a
character and
dick.
everything.
'Cause, oh,
Like,
it's
yeah,
Bill
we
Murray's
need a
brother.
dick, we need a
oh.
racist, we need some bigot. We'll throw this guy in.
We should
And he
probably
used to-
find Bill Murray's brother's name so that
Right?
we can give him credit.
Mr.
I
Murray.
feel bad. Mr. Murray.
Mr.
There you go.
Murray.
Mr. Murray the second.
The first, actually. He's older.
Oh, the older.
And he also owns Noah's Arcade. Wayne's World.
Why-
Wayne's
Sorry.
World,
You
yeah.
know so much about this.
No, that is not Noah, is
Yeah,
it?
it's the same guy.
No
Same dude.
way, you're lying.
Or no, that is a different
That's
guy.
a different actor,
Never mind,
yeah.
sorry. I don't know
No
shit.
We have to.
Okay.
We need to go look.
I had to think about it. I'm like, did he age down? I was just like, wait.
No.
Wayne's World 1 would only been like maybe a decade. No. Plus, that guy has more of like a voice.
Yeah. Noah's Arcade. Fuck your mother.
Blanket.
She wants to talk about this so bad.
No, yeah, okay, so Chris Rock, awkwardly in this movie. My favorite part about Chris Rock's role in this whole thing is that Danny Glover just assumes that he's just gay for him.
Oh, I know.
He's just
And
like,
if you
he couldn't be
watch it the
anything
whole
else.
time-
He's just like, yeah, he's got a weird, he's giving like the side eye. He's like,
Well-
he like touches his chest. He's just like,
I love it.
The power of Riggs' mullet was the one who put that in his brain. Maybe he likes you. Like, maybe... I can't remember what he says, but like maybe
right.
maybe
Oh,
he's
yeah,
into you.
he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of his troll, dude.
Yeah.
The entire movie, I feel like 99% of his words are just, I'm fucking with you. Mm-hmm. Anyway, yeah, but no, what they call, what Briggs call them? Biscuits?
They call him all kinds of shit in that movie.
Biscuits, putter. But what do you have about Chris Rock since we finally introduced Chris Rock?
He's just like, he just comes in so, he's loud. I mean, it's Chris Rock. He's loud.
Right.
But you're right. It's kind of awkward. I think when he comes into the movie, it's like, holy shit, that's Chris Rock. And then he's just, I mean, you're kind of starting to understand why he is acting a certain way around Murtaugh. And but Murtaugh doesn't understand, so it's just awkward, I feel like, and he's just yelling for a blanket, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening
My
here?
favorite part of that is when he's like, this dude's dead. It makes me think of Mystery Men when the random dude's like, this sucker's dead. It's like, no
And then
shit.
he goes on a rant about like trying to impress Murtaugh.
Right.
And he's like, we're importing victims now. Like, what the fuck are we doing? This is a normal guy. And he's dead.
And if you think about it, like, Murtaugh's whole deal, why he took in the family was slaves. He wanted to be a black man saving slaves. It was actually almost parallel to what Chris Rock wanted to do as well.
Right.
They go hand in hand. So if you think about it, like, why aren't they besties? I'm sure they are now.
I hope so.
No, because he thought he wanted to touch his pooter.
Dinghy?
Dinghy?
His dinghy?
Yeah.
After he saved the people on the dinghy?
Quit playing with your dinghy.
I did love rewatching it though, like thinking about that the whole time and just watching their interactions. Like, oh my god, this is great.
It's very subtle.
It is subtle, but
Oh,
if you
yeah.
pay attention,
What was it?
Rewatching it.
When they're in the locker room, he walks up. He just like took his pants and pulls them right back up.
it's
Yep.
great.
I know I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit, but my favorite quote, I wrote the entire thing down so I didn't fuck it up. But when he's arresting the restaurant worker, that why'd you run if you didn't do anything? Blah, blah, blah.
What's the special?
Right? Sweet salt pork.
He keeps going and it's just like, oh shit, all right.
But when he's putting cuffs on him, he's like, you have the right to remain silent, so shut the fuck up. You have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, we will provide you with the dumbest fucking lawyer on earth. If you get Johnny Cochran, I'll kill you.
Technically, that's not the Miranda rights.
No.
That will not hold up in court.
That will not. You need to re-Mirandize. Is that right? Re-Mirandize that man. You have the right to suck my dick, motherfucker.
I mean, I was attracted to characters like that. It's like, oh, this guy's in my face. It's like, why was Sean William Scott even like relevant? It was because he was ridiculous like that. And then they're just like, all right, how do we 90s this movie? Throw Chris Rock in here.
They needed somebody with his charisma.
And they needed to kick it in. It was a great kickoff for Chris Rock. Because like that's the thing of this movie. Like, yeah, it was kind of the end for Danny Glover as far as like his quote unquote relevance, but it kicked off I guess Jet Li and Chris Rock.
Yep, sure did.
And then he did what was it? Spiral. I still haven't seen it. I heard it's atrocious. It's a Saw
Oh yeah.
movie with
Chris Rock?
Yeah,
Chris Rock.
I
It's one of
can't
his
take
first.
it seriously. I already
Right.
can't take it seriously.
I want to see it because I want to see him in a serious role.
Just imagine him just like, that's a fucking song.
I can't. Yeah, I can't.
No, I can't take it
I mean, I'll
seriously.
watch it. Maybe.
That's
I
hilarious.
just always think of him playing Rufus in Dogma.
Oh, geez.
You ever seen a fat opossum?
Right.
Or you ever heard of a fat opossum? I'm screwing all the movie quotes up and the actors.
Oh, that's all right.
That's okay. We're new at
This
this.
is our first day. Everyone's-
I saw a movie once.
Baby, we're gonna take a quick break. I gotta go pee pee. Fuck your face.
Kiss me first.
And we're back. Tessa showed us her tits. It was fantastic.
No,
It
not
was
today.
It was weird.
Not today.
She didn't actually.
They're unwashed.
What do you got? Mold growing on them or something? What the what?
Big titties are like armpits, man.
Oh yeah,
I got
mean,
two
that's-
extra. It's a thing.
I got dangly parts too. I get it. They're not quite that big. They're
Humans, we dangle.
very unimpressive.
Gravity.
Gravity's a thing.
Like they say in The Sweetest Thing. So Riggs and Murtaugh come home to find Wasing Ku in the house with other gang members holding Lorna and Murtaugh's family hostage. Hong and his family were already taken away before they arrive. After a brief skirmish, Riggs takes a radio from Lorna's car, and the pair set off with Rianne's car in the hot pursuit of the two triads that fled after setting the house ablaze.
More fire.
Yeah, exactly. More fire. Like, the more we talked about how this movie was slapped together, like, there's awkward scenes like this.
Where was that kid the whole time?
He was hiding in the kitchen.
He was in the kitchen.
Maybe under the chair or something. He liked to hide under things.
Right.
true.
He's a
That
cute
was
fucking
his
kid.
whole
He
thing.
was a cute little kid. I'm like, and you had child-safe scissors though. They were child-safe scissors.
That's even
Safety
better.
first.
I know. I'm like, he just
With
fucking
the
comes out
rounded
with.
edges.
Because
Yep.
would you trust a child with scissors?
Words.
Absolutely not.
I are talk good. Keep it.
Am I okay?
I tell you what.
But no, the thing I loved about that scene though was Jet Li dismantling the gun.
Yes.
Oh, that
I was
was
like,
badass.
oh my god!
It's like Jesus. That's all
was-
part of the worship to come of Jet Li.
Yeah, that
And
was.
I think
awesome.
it was, I think it was this scene where the director was like, Jet Li, I got to get you to slow down, bud. I can't film this because
Yeah.
like he's moving too quick, and the stuntmen aren't used to
Dealing with
quick motions like that.
Right.
Because he's used to the Chinese style of filming, so he's
Where it's
quick
more
motions,
raw.
and everybody
Yeah.
is doing the same style. But then he comes in and whoosh, like
It's like, okay, maybe that's why all of us were so dumbfounded when we first seen it. Like
Yeah.
especially me as a 7-year-old. It's like, oh, you know, like holy shit.
I was just used to like 70s kung fu movies where they have the slow mo.
Where it cuts to their face and then them.
Yeah. And then the zoom in. And the wise man stroking his beard and throwing it over his shoulder.
You will absolutely not do this.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I was reading about though last night on IMDb. It's just like how they had to keep telling him to slow down because the camera could not keep up
like,
from
bitch.
frame to frame.
This is money
It
right
wasn't
here.
working. Like,
Keep up
but
with
you
me.
have to slow down. We can't catch all of it on film.
Yeah, he kicks somebody in the face so you only see one frame of it.
Yeah. I mean, that was basically the problem they were running into. Is they kept having to tell him you need to slow the motions down, but then that complicates things because he's so
Right.
used to doing it one way. I mean, how do you? I don't know. I can't do a roundhouse kick, but how do you slow it down?
Right. And how old was he when he filmed this? So he had already been in the film scene like 10 years, I think, because he was maybe in his 30s.
I think so.
Because he's in his at least his 50s now.
I mean, not to be cliche, but he's very ageless with his. You can't tell how old he is.
No. You
Well,
can't- yeah.
Like even when he was in the Expendables, like
Right.
he looked the same age. Like obviously he does look the youngest in Lethal Weapon 4 if you compare him to in other films. Like his face becomes more rounded. He's not
movies
as-
he did with DMX.
Well, in those ones, his face does. He looks younger in those films. In some of them, like especially like Romeo Must Die, compared to this. I mean, it might also just be the 1998 filming. You know, it's just like kind of like got that dark feel to it. Makes him look a little bit younger, but he doesn't look like him, I guess, necessarily as much as he would like. You know, Cradle to the Grave, Romeo Must Die, which
Kiss of the Dragon.
I fucking love Kiss the Dragon. Have you
Never
ever
seen
No,
it.
I need to see it too because it was written by Luke Besson, the guy
we
who
should
wrote
watch it.
Unleashed.
Unleashed? Foreshadowing.
Yes. And The Fifth Element. Yes, she knows it's a multipass. The whole point I brought up his age was he'd already been in the film scene for so long, but doing the style, like the Chinese style of martial arts movies. And then he comes to America where nobody's used to it, and then they're starting to have to train him to do the American style martial arts
Right.
choreography.
Yeah, because
So-
this was his first American
Big feature.
film.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was his first American role ever, wasn't it?
it was.
Yeah.
Per IMDb. At 4 a.m. this morning.
It's the greatest app on the planet. Like I seriously, I probably whip that app out 4 or 5 times a day, having a conversation with Tessa or
Whips
you
it out
or-
4 or 5 times a
Right.
day.
It's a funny little feller, but it'll do the job. But it's just a lifesaver. Like who was in that movie or who did this? Blah blah blah. Blah. And then now on the cell phones, it's got trivia parts.
On the cell phones.
Now, on the cell phone app.
Your age is showing.
Hey,
He's the oldest one.
when I was your age, Frankfurters only cost a nickel.
I probably did.
And I do have a correction.
Uh-oh.
The guy in Lethal Weapon 4 is not Bill Murray's brother. It is the Noah's Arcade guy. I just fucked that up.
Oh,
So
shit.
I swapped him.
They
So
kind
the
of look
Noah's
similar.
Arcade guy is Bill Murray's brother.
Yes,
but that
and
is
his name
not
is
him.
Brian Doyle Murray. But yeah, I got for some reason I was thinking they were the same fucking person, and then you guys
They-
called me out on that, and now I'm like, oh wait,
This
but
idiot.
see, they're right. This fucking guy.
This fucking guy.
Why is
He doesn't
on
have
the
a film
podcast?
degree.
right?
Jesus.
I don't either.
Oh, I don't even.
I'm a
You don't have a film degree.
That's the whole
self-diagnosed film master.
Self-diagnosed.
So Lethal Weapon 4.
Lethal Weapon 4. Absolutely. We're just gonna restart.
Sorry.
Let's just restart.
No, I like the banter.
Okay.
People don't care about my fucking contacts.
But anyway, yeah, Jet Li, super young.
Super young.
First
But
American
not.
movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's like my age now. That he would have been in Lethal Weapon 4. So I'm 31.
Dude, yeah. During the making, I watched the making of, and Rene Russo, when she gets kicked, she's watching the playback. It's like, oh my god, that's so cool. Is that like should I have like bruises or something because he kicks me in the chin? It's like, no, he's kicking you in the back of the head. Oh, well then we need to reshoot that, don't we? It's because she reacted. Anyway, just how quick his
Oh,
motions
how
are.
she reacted was not to what he wanted, to what he was doing.
Yeah,
Right.
But it
was
still
too
looked good.
fast.
Right. She kicked me in the back of the head and fell backwards.
right.
Poor Rene Russo. I feel like
was still a
for this
badass,
being
though.
a send off of the quote unquote series, she did not get the gratitude. I felt like, at least from the film perspective.
Yeah, because they just had her pregnant.
She was
in one fight
pregnant.
scene.
She had she's just like I'm internal affairs.
Yeah. I mean,
And
like, she
then-
can clearly hold her own shit.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, if you see Lethal Weapon 3, she'll
Right.
kick some fucking ass.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But like I said, I even though she only had one film before this one, I still felt like she deserved a send off.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well, maybe she'll be in Lethal Weapon 5.
oh, Kane.
She's not that old.
Oh my God.
God, Mel Gibson just
Sorry,
played
Renee.
Santa Claus.
That was bad. That was badass.
Mm-hmm. Fat
Fat
Man, if
Man.
anybody wants to check that out.
Fat
It's
Man.
my go-to Christmas movie now. Fuck Die Hard. Don't get me wrong, Die Hard's a
We
great
still
movie, but
like Die Hard.
just replaced Die Hard for my Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Watch it.
It's
Actually,
great.
I stuck true to the Russell, dude. I like the Russell Santa Claus films.
Okay.
Have we gotten to the beads fight scene yet?
Oh, no, we passed it.
Dude,
You want-
we have to talk about the beads, though.
beads.
Yeah, the beads were...
Yeah.
That was my favorite fight
Well,
scene.
Jet Li always seems to have like his catch-all for every film.
What do you mean?
So like, this film he has the beads.
Mm-hmm. Like some item?
Some item of some sort that's his thing.
Okay.
So like in Kiss the Dragon,
Mm-hmm.
he has these like needles. He has like this wristband that has a bunch of fucking pins and needles on him.
I also had a note about the watch. When Murtaugh gives his watch to like the elder gentleman of the
Oh, yeah.
family, like the refugee family, he gives him his
Hung.
watch
Yeah.
that his father gave to him.
Yeah, but I think it plays into the slave thing. He feels remorse for the whole situation, and he wants to give something meaningful to this person that has great value. To somebody like that, that would be millions to them,
Yeah.
and
Like, that's a
he
that's a big
understood.
deal.
Oh yeah. It was also equally sad when he had to find his watch.
Giving your watch that your father gave to you, and you just give it away.
Right.
I don't know. I'm like, that was a big move.
We can't discredit the young boy Ping from Saving the Day.
Right. Child
Right.
scissors.
You're a badass.
That
kid.
whole situation turned so quickly. And then they obviously, Asian actor who's in every film, all of a sudden pulls a knife on her belly. And you're just like, all right, we went there quick.
Oh wow, you got. It's gonna be like that then.
Yeah.
Bro, you
and
got
then and then
dark.
all of a sudden the whole room is fucking tied up. Everyone's on fire. And then we got the safety scissors. We're fine.
Thank God.
Funny thing about Ping, you know he's a U.S. Senator now?
No shit.
No, he's not. I'm just
Fuck
fucking...
off.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I'm sure he's doing great.
Still
but I
got those
didn't-
red scissors on his desk.
Yeah.
There was another scene that we kind of looked over, was a part to the Mel Gibson fucking troll that he is with the therapist.
Oh God, I felt for that woman. Like
Well,
you.
because you see, like, sorry to cut you off, but in the other movies, he is terrorizing her. So
Right.
her reaction is
And,
justified.
Right.
and that falls into the relevance. Like they could get away with you if you'd never seen the other ones. Like that interaction would just play it off as he's being a smartass to this gal, and turning it on her. But yes.
Like you're such a dick.
But the fucked up part in his defense was he was truly coming with a problem.
You're the boy that cried wolf, though, man.
Yeah.
Too late.
He got what he deserved. He
Too
was
fucking
such
late.
an asshole to that woman.
Yeah.
But then he had to bury her again with.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man,
It's like,
you're the
all right.
worst kind of douche canoe.
But still looking like
God.
stone cold in the face. Like his voice don't match his face ever.
No.
The crazy.
There's no mullet there.
Yeah. The mullet was a big character.
There's
I guess
mullet symbolism in this
maybe-
film, but
right. Maybe we need to go back and rewatch the other ones with the mullet and just see if it lines up. Was the mullet hard carrying his character that hard, or
Had to be.
that would be
I'm
interesting.
convinced it had to have been. That's we'll just go with that.
You know,
Maybe.
one person we haven't talked about at all is Uncle Benny.
Uncle Benny.
He's my
That's
favorite.
you. You're Uncle Benny.
Benny.
Technically, I am. I have a nephew that's 4 years old.
Yep.
But I love him that he calls him out on his racist bullshit at the restaurant. It's like, oh, what's on the menu? Fly rice? It's
Fly
fried rice.
Fried rice.
You plick.
But he's a good mob boss, I think.
Absolutely. Like you almost don't want to take him serious, but in the same breath, his eyes say, "I'll fucking kill you."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And then, spoiler alert, I know it's been since 1998, but when Jet Li kills him, I
Right.
was just like, holy shit, did not see that coming.
Right.
Like the
Right.
first time I watched it, I saw it
Well,
coming.
I
but,
mean,
you know.
in the same breath, the entire movie, Jet Li is pulling in Hong Kong you'd be dead every chance he got. But I mean, at least he lives up to his word.
Yeah.
I
fucking
also
does.
wanted to point out the fact that Jet Li's favorite way to execute somebody is they randomly pull up to a railroad and will push him into the train.
Dude, yeah.
It happened twice. It's like, what are the chances? Like,
Right?
we had to strategically pick our hideout, and the only way out is if they cross this railroad track in, L.A. LOL.
Yeah. It's like, let's pray they don't think about it and put it into drive and pull forward.
We have to have this meeting at this time on this day because we have the railroad manifest. They will be crossing at this time.
It's a no fuss kill, though.
True.
But
It's a no-fuss kill.
okay, so your immediate reaction when someone's like pushing on your car like that is to push on the brakes, right? Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't you just go forward?
That's what I kept fucking
Because
saying.
panic. Because people are dumb.
I understand that, but yeah, just pull forward.
Yeah.
Crisis averted.
Yeah, there are people that went to see Mamma Mia, so.
Mamma mia.
I wasn't one of them.
Okay, good. I
You're
looked
looking at me
wait.
like, oh fuck.
She's gonna hit me again. Fried rice.
That's why it's not a video
Fried rice.
podcast. I have a black eye. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
shut
I don't.
up.
I don't.
She
She beats me.
My wife beats me too. It's fine.
We deserve it.
Fuckers. This is why I drink.
But the dentist scene with Uncle Benny is probably one of my favorite comedic moments.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they just get high as fuck.
I like. There's no hesitation either. They all just start taking huffs of it.
Turn it up.
Danny Glover sounds like Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. When
Oh
he's
my
laughing
God.
when he does that
I love
loud
it.
wail.
I love it.
I like I said earlier, it's 100% he got paid to be himself for 2 hours.
Right?
Yeah, that scene is hilarious.
Yo, baby. Oh, baby.
I'm sleeping with my wife's 2 sisters.
Uncle Benny. I'm sleeping with my wife's 2 sisters.
Fucking stoned out of their minds. It's great. It almost makes me want to go to the
Actually,
dentist.
the most awkward person in that whole scene is Chris Rock. I would have been fine with the three with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Rock was just there for a laugh.
Well, I think it was necessary because that's when he confesses that he is the
Oh
one who
my, yeah,
impregnated
absolutely right.
Danny Glover's daughter.
Right,
So that was the scene because right after that he decks him.
right.
Like, you motherfucker, you didn't tell me this. You've been porking my daughter and blah, blah, blah.
You gotta respect his old fashionedness. I guess even in the late 90s, that's still probably the standard. You know, you can't have a baby with somebody if you're not married.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I think we hyped up Lethal Weapon 4 too much. I've watched it too many times. I have paid to rent this movie like 4 different times now. I might as well just bought it.
It's on HBO Max.
You paid to rent
It's on
it?
HBO Max?
Yeah.
LOL, this is on Prime right now.
I am so glad I'm recording this right now.
Dude, that's fucked up.
How much money did you spend?
$3.99 3 times. It's on HBO Max? I didn't even look.
So I'm a math statistician. That's about $48.
$3.99 3 times?
It was a joke.
No.
You looked at me like,
You're like, you're done.
your opinion is wrong because you're stupid.
stupid.
Oh, that's fun. Patient's gonna love that because I was bitching at her last night about it. She's like, right, spending money
Oh my
on it.
god, that's
It's on
hilarious.
HBO Max, all 4 of them.
Unleashed isn't, is it?
Baby, we're gonna take a quick break. I gotta go pee-pee.
All right.
Courage the Cowardly Dog is next on the WB.
After locating the area where Hong's family was held, one of Riggs and Murtaugh's detective friends are able to figure out where the meet was taking place. They all disrupt the exchange and expose the money that is being used to buy the prisoner's release as counterfeit. During a shootout, Riggs and Murtaugh have one last battle on a pier with Wasing Ku. The movie ends with Lauren and Martin marrying just before she gives birth and Roger accepting Butters biscuits. Rand's marriage. The 2 babies are born as Martin Riggs is finally settling down. The Hong family is granted asylum.
And they all live happily ever after.
Indubitably.
The Four Fathers.
Which I felt like the Forefathers, they could have done a lot more with them.
They did. It was kind of like an
agree.
just a filler, not an afterthought, but like a filler.
They could have, like, they had no, like, for how quote-unquote important they were. Like, they felt like they had no power. They were kind of useless. Like, their quote-unquote sword and shield was Jelly's character.
Mm-hmm.
And just because his brother was one of them.
Yep.
But, I mean, for being the forefathers of the triad, you'd expect more out of them, especially being held in prison for X amount of years.
Yeah, I felt like that could have been more robust.
Absolutely.
But the trigger that set Jet Li off, and we haven't talked about this, his magic mullet.
He does. He
It's-
has the Asian mullet.
I think you said the other day it's
Oh
like
my-
more like a rat tail.
I was like, that is
Yeah.
not a mullet. That is a rat tail.
It's Jet Li's mullet.
Yeah.
We'll never talk about it.
It's a rat tail.
Don't you disrespect the master.
No disrespect. I'm just saying, that's a rat tail.
No, it's a fucking rat tail, totally.
Yeah.
But
They cut it like that right before they started filming. They cut it like as a way that he would have done it, I guess, as his character.
mhm.
Oh, sure.
It was, again, it was intentional.
God, the next 2 movies we're going to be talking about haircuts. I got something to say about the next one.
It's part of it.
But anyway, that's probably one of the fun facts you found.
Yeah.
So I'll let you talk
Fun
about that.
fact number
But
2.
anyway, him like when his brother dies and he or gets shot. I loved that scene. He dodged a bullet, but he
Then
realized he
took
fucked
it.
up because
Yeah.
once he dodged, it hit his brother.
Yep.
He's like, oh! And then he
Right.
quickly scurries across the camera, and it's another one of those moments where he's going a little too fast. Like I'm like, that motherfucker bolted.
He's quick.
I guess I would too if my brother got shot.
It was
right?
his. I mean, it was instinct, though. You know. I mean,
Right.
he didn't even really have control over that. I mean, that's a Jet Li shit, man. Like he dodges bullets.
right.
Absolutely. Well, we can't.
He escaped the Matrix.
We have to jump to, the death of Uncle Benny.
Yes.
And that is all part of this act. And, what was it? So the big stipulation in the movie, it was earlier on, Jet Li said, he's like, we can't continue making counterfeits unless, in the movie they refer to the family. They're actually talking about Hong's family. They need that family to be to the uncle, the artist, to finish the counterfeits. And that was the only reason he would do it. Is if they were there, he would finish the counterfeits, aka they can pay off the dude who stole the forefathers, and then pay him their funny money. Anyway, which that whole scene with the funny money is sad. You know, we lose Hong, we lose Uncle Benny. He whips out his token beads and kills them all.
Yeah, I thought that was such a unique weapon.
Yeah.
Because you think it's just prayer beads, and then all of a sudden there's this magic magic strangulation string. Tell you what, Uncle Dad will be so proud I learned how to speak the English. Anyway,
I am proud as well.
thank you, babe. Look away, Tessa. We're gonna make out now. But
Oh,
no,
look at the camera.
it is a. What'd you say?
Wife.
What's that?
Oh, nothing.
But yeah, that weapon is cool. I thought it was.
It is cool.
I'm sure it's been in other movies. I don't remember seeing it, but just like that
Like I
that
said.
scene on the rooftop that we never ended up talking about. He just whips it out and starts strangling the guy. I'm like, what the fuck?
Just out of nowhere.
It's his
Right.
catch-all. It's catch-all for the movie.
His
Kiss of the
catch-all.
Dragon with his pins.
Yeah.
His needle bracelet.
And that's very, I mean, the beads are very much, I mean, part of who Jet Li is as a man, as a real human outside of his characters. Because, like, I read an article from the Seattle Times about Unleashed, and it was an interview. And the whole time he's being interviewed about that movie, he's holding prayer beads.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah. So I think that, I mean, I don't know if he had anything to do with his choice of
sure he
weapon
did.
there, but like that's very much just I mean, it's an item that he would have,
Would have on him.
on a daily.
So, I felt like like when Hong died, it was like, ugh, my soul.
Yeah, it was tragic because
But the movie kind of played it a little. It's like, oh, he's dead.
no, they did
Like obviously the watch scene.
his uncle though. Like you see how scared his uncle is and how heartbroken he is because that happens right in front of him.
Right.
I think that scene was good and it really packed a punch for me.
It was heavy.
Good.
Yeah.
Murtaugh was looking for him in the corpse line. He's like, "Where's Hong?" He's like, "Right in front of you." Then it opens up. He's just wide-eyed.
Like, oh shit!
Like his whole character, the whole movie was wide-eyed like that.
Yeah.
So it was, like, impressive.
Makes sense.
Maybe I had more of an appreciation for it because I saw it for free.
Yeah, that is true.
Sorry, I had to give you a little jab.
I didn't realize I've
I've been lied to.
rented it a few times off Prime, and I could have just watched it off HBO
It's so
for free.
funny.
Whatever. Don't
Hey, you learn something new
don't
every
tell
day.
patients.
Right?
Anyway,
Okay, so heavy shit. People
Yeah.
die, eyes are open. Maybe they get closed. We don't remember.
I still feel like they play it down. I feel like all the deaths were played down. In my eyes.
I disagree. I
Like
think Hong's death
they threw in he's like, I was looking for my watch. I found the watch. Or at least I found my watch. It's like that to me that was the only real like emotional part about it.
Mm-hmm.
The watch
I-
made me sad.
It was sad.
The-
God.
But that was it.
I
They
think the
hard
whole-
carried it.
His uncle watching him get his neck snapped. I think that was the emotional part for me.
Mm-hmm.
I get the wide-eyed. It just looked cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're imagining him going, oh,
Uncle Betty, he did it.
I still think it had relevance. I get what you're saying though because this is kind of a rushed action movie.
It was, and it might be just me being just used to this kind of shit in movies now. I am a veteran.
You're jaded.
Action,
Your opinion is wrong
action-
because you're stupid.
right. Absolutely.
I feel that sometimes though. So there's things that happen that I feel like I maybe don't react the same
Yeah.
way that maybe an average person would.
Absolutely.
I'm like just a little bit jaded.
Alright.
Seen some shit.
Yeah. Nothing wrong.
But the fight scene on the pier, like first off, they follow him because he's carrying his brother, and then his brother Jet Li is carrying his brother, and his brother dies in his arms on that pier. It's
Right.
pouring rain, and of course everybody's got to be soaking wet because it's a bunch of muscular dudes, and they've got to be all soaking wet and greased up like
Yeah.
the greased up deaf guy from Family Guy.
We like it.
Right.
Sorry, this is
How
the
else would you
ending
wanna
of
see
Transporter.
Murtaugh, dude?
My favorite part in that whole scene is when they're walking away and they're like, we're too old for this shit. We've got priorities now. I'm about to have a kid, about to have a grandbaby, blah, blah, blah. They walk away and then they stop and they bring up the dismantling of the gun. how did he dismantle your gun like that? I was like, I don't know. You know what? Let's go ask him. So they turn around and they go back to fight his ass.
The dismantling of the gun is just. It's something that
Obviously,
we've never seen before.
Right.
Obviously, it like hit the actors too. So like,
Yeah.
I felt like that was one of those moments. It had to have been one of those unscripted moments where they just went with it.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're
it's
just
like they're
oh, shit.
seasoned, you know.
Right.
They're seasoned action dudes. They're seasoned cops. They're seasoned.
This is the
And then
fourth
you just.
season of Lethal Weapon.
The fourth season.
And then some dude just comes out with and dismantles your gun. It's like the reaction was great.
It's like, oh shit.
It's like, wow, that's a different
For-
level.
For a studio that's struggling, they really got their money's worth
That's
out of this
that
guy.
Jet Li
Right.
shit right there.
Well, and then Jet Li stands up all pissed off, and I'm like,
Oh
fuck.
my god, that movie! I remember thinking that back in the day when he stood up, just fucking every emotion in the book.
Like the fire
ready
from
to
the intro is
fucking
now in his
kill you.
eyes.
Yeah.
That's what
It's
the
like he
That's
has
what the fire's really for.
he's internalized it. He's internalized the flame.
I know he's fighting two dudes instead of just one, but still, it's like,
More like one and
you
a
haven't
half.
seen The Expendables, have you?
Yes, I have.
Oh, you have. All
Yeah.
right. Jet Li gets his ass kicked by Dolph Lundgren. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a big dude.
Right.
Yeah, but
No fucking.
the bigger they
like,
are, the harder they fall.
Right.
Well,
Dolph
yeah.
Lundgren
He
against
would
Jet
run
Li.
circles
I'm like,
around him.
yeah, Jet Li would totally.
He's just gonna murder you with his prayer beads, man.
Right.
Which is kind of ironic as a Buddhist, but
I'm a pacifist.
we love you, Jet Li.
Until I don't need to be.
But yeah, getting stabbed with the rebar and then lifted up.
Oh,
I could feel that. I'm just going, ow, ow, owie, oh, God, oh, I feel
Plus,
that.
like the sounds he's making, that jack. Like I feel like that.
Yeah, that it gives me the uncomfies.
Right. I mean, at that point, fuck it, dude. Go full on dog on these guys. If you get fucking stabbed like that in that type of situation, go down swinging, dude.
Right.
It's all on
You're
the table.
gonna die anyway.
I mean, he had the honorable death. The only way they could take him down, even underneath the water with a fucking rock, with that bullshit, we had to shoot
Well, and they
him.
shot him.
We had to shoot him.
Which I don't know if
We're the good guys here.
gun experts. I got to talk to Pat. I don't know if that gun
Would
would
have
fire
fired.
that many times underwater.
Yeah.
I think maybe once, and then
Once, and then
Maybe
the water
once.
entered the barrel as it cocked out. Yeah.
But
don't
I
know.
mean, you know,
We're not gun
maybe in
experts.
their I got to do this. Maybe in their cinematic universe, guns can be used underwater. Maybe they have
So
protective
that's-
coating.
Absolutely.
It could fire once. I don't know.
We'll have to
Gun enthusiasts.
confirm that.
Once we
That's
set
a
up an
lethal
email,
weapon.
write us at insert.
No,
email
don't. They'll
here.
just correct everything.
right.
Every little misspoken word
That's
will
all
be
right.
corrected.
That's what it's there for.
I'm gonna have to watch Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants curled up into a ball and crying. Thanks a lot, guys.
Your opinion is wrong because you're stupid.
We need to make it clear we do not have any experience in film at all.
I have a
Ben
little
has
bit.
some.
Some.
I have a little bit.
Ben's a
Right,
videographer
but not enough to
by
credit.
trade.
Our
once did-
opinions aren't credited by,
I don't know,
by
I did
a
a-
body.
I did a scene with Jack Ramrod one time. That was painful.
Oh, you have all the opinions in the world. You could say whatever the hell you want.
Dude,
This is
I
now
was-
your solo podcast.
I was an extra on the set of Deep Cheeks 4. Fucking sucked, man.
Bet it did.
No.
What?
No, we don't have any actual cred. That's kind of the joke of
Yeah.
film degrees that we don't have. We don't have the film degrees. We're just
Just passionate.
people that
Besides your
like
backyard
movies.
short films. Well, anyway, after that fight scene, we cut to the hospital
Yeah.
where Renee Russo is having her baby, and then
Her third relevance of this movie.
she's
woman.
still a badass.
She is a
kicking
badass.
ass while she's
Yeah.
pregnant. I'm like the
Right.
whole time. I'm like, oh my god, please support your belly.
Yeah. And she provides.
I'm like, does she have a band
She provides police. For
under her? Does she have a pregnancy band? Because I'm concerned.
But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the movie. Leo has his
Well,
little freak
no.
out about the cup.
Well, yeah, and then the rabbi scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
can't forget about the rabbi scene. And then what was it? So they made such a big deal about Riggs's kid being born. It's like then Murtaugh's grandchild was born, and then it's like, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
He's right there. They're born at the same time. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, it wasn't an equal reaction.
No, and
I think.
I feel like that's
Murtaugh baby. Murtaugh baby. No, Butters. Butters baby.
butter biscuit.
Butter biscuit. Baby butter biscuit.
But it had a decent, wholesome ending.
Oh, yeah. It
Which-
tied it all up in a nice little bow.
Tied it all up, yes. And then, like, I guess my question for people is, now, I've only seen the first 3 a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm drawn to the 4th just because it was what it was to me. I saw it as a blanket movie. I didn't learn about any of the association with any of the characters from the prior movies until I was older. And just because all this movie was to me when I was younger it was the movie that showed me Jet Li.
Yeah, pretty much for me
feel
too.
like that was for a lot of
then
people.
that's what it was. But it had its moments with me as it just one of those movies that stuck out when I used to go see it when I was younger with my dad. So and that's how we bonded back in the day, and that's why at least I wanted to choose this movie.
Mm-hmm. And it's a good starting point because then it
There's
gives
so
us
much with this movie.
right, and it gives us a plethora of actors to choose for the next movie. What path did we want to go down?
Well, the badass himself, Jet Li.
Mr. Jet Li. This was my choice. Should I just say it,
Yeah.
or just wait?
No.
Check out for a surprise next week.
No.
We are watching Unleashed.
Yeah. So next week we are covering.
And
Unleashed.
actually, this will be all at the same time. Because when you hear this, you will be in the future.
That's true. You will be in the future.
You'll be in the future. Will the world exist at this time by the Russians? I have no idea.
The
Oh,
raccoons are
The
taking over.
raccoons will take over.
Lord help
But
us.
when you do hear this, there should be about 10 or so episodes.
I thought you were going to say
Give-
10 or so raccoons.
Raccoons, yeah. So at least give us the courtesy 5 listens. 5 episodes.
Yeah, check it out. We're
Let us know what
learning.
you think.
We're growing.
But
Did we emphasize the learning part
We'll
yet?
get coasters.
yes, I do have coasters. The big thing is we want to hear what your opinions are. Like, we're not here to slam these movies, but in the same breath, if you
Other
don't like
people do that.
something, but yeah, that's for everyone. Obviously, like I'll be, we all have our moments of being skeptical or thinking something's dumb.
Mhm.
That's whatever. That's watching a movie.
Yeah.
But we have our own way of how we are rating these movies. And so the lowest score being, was this a one and done? I watch it once, never watch it again. The second being, is this a movie I'm going to rent on occasionally? I take this girl home with me. Let's watch Lethal Weapon 4.
Damn, girl.
I'm going to pay for it and rent it
Right.
a 4th time.
No, this would be the 5th time.
And then the second to highest score you could give is I'm gonna rent this, download this, put it on my iPhone, Google Play, Switch, whatever you got, and then which to some people that could be the highest level of honor to a movie. It's always on you. You could always watch it whenever you're bored. And then, in my opinion, the highest level would be: are we gonna hunt down this DVD? And it's going on my shelf over there to sit there for all eternity to give to my daughter so she can figure something out to do with it when she's older.
That is the highest level.
DVD? What the fuck?
DVDs.
When I was younger, DVDs were the it. Like, I remember my room in my dad's basement, it was just DVDs. I would just collect them. It was before streaming came out, and then I was like, man, I wasted hundreds of dollars on nothing.
I'm so old, my dad had beta.
Oh, man.
We still have a giant collection of VHS tapes. A giant collection.
But all right, so let's start it off with you, Eric. How do you rate this movie?
This movie is, even though it holds true to my heart, this would be a downloaded on my phone for me.
Okay.
I will buy it. I will put it on my phone. It might be a little jaded just because I have rented this movie too many times. And I will
specifically
give the
this
franchise, $15.99 plus tax worth of my money. one more time. Call it good. It's probably more than the tickets I spent to see it in the theater. But because of that, I will put it on my iPhone. I will watch it when I can.
Okay.
What do you think, Tessa?
I'll take a girl home and watch it.
Prove it.
I'll take. No, for me, like I had never seen any of the Lethal Weapon movies, and basically I watched this because you guys told me to, which was totally cool. I ended up really liking it, and yeah, I think I went into it with really low expectations because I'm not typically into like the action-packed Asian movies, I guess.
You better buckle up.
I know. And I eat my words with our next movie that we cover too, because it totally just flipped my original
And I
way
agree.
of thinking about it.
I agree.
But yeah, I mean, I would watch it with friends. I would watch it with you again, but I don't feel the need to download it. I don't feel the need to. I don't feel the need to have the
this
DVD
is like one of
because
those,
Ben already.
Ben's got the dudes coming over like, all right, guys, let's throw on Lethal Weapon 4.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Get the
exactly.
Zimas out or something.
Right? Pat would be like, no, he doesn't have the mullet. I don't like it.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But that's kind of where I'm at, I think. It was good, but
Right.
I don't need the DVD.
All right, Ben.
I'm kind of on the same path as her.
Okay.
Like, it is on a streaming service, HBO Max, which I'm going to keep rubbing that right in your face. But it's not a movie that I've thought about a lot since.
Sure.
You know, unless we're having a conversation of Jet Li, the first time we saw Jet Li, blah, blah, blah. I do like the movie, but it's a once every couple years movie for me.
Absolutely.
So I'd have to go the second to lowest rating. What was it again?
The rent occasionally.
Rent occasionally for me.
Bring it out. Me and Tess had a long night out. Let's rent with Lethal Weapon 4.
Come on, girl, to put you in the mood.
Except it's for free on HBO.
We're gonna watch Lethal Weapon 4 and diddle each other's pooters.
But yeah.
Not at night. I'm too old for that.
Nap time.
But by the time you hear this, we will have socials set up. And we would love to hear everyone's.
What do you think?
What are you going to do?
Are you going to bring a girl home and watch Lethal Weapon 4? Have you done
Maybe
that?
you won't.
Did you think Chris Rock was hitting on you?
I certainly did.
The whole movie.
All right. Next we have Unleashed.
Yep.
Whoop
Or
whoop.
Jet Li.
See you on the next episode.
60 proof.